Hello, friends. My colleague Michael Bloss, St. Mark's Director of Music, has been recording a lot of music of J.S. Bach for his Lenten musical meditations, and I hope you're watching them, by the way. They're also available, like these ones are, on our church website, on our YouTube channel, and on Facebook. If you haven't gone to listen and watch Michael play, you really must. They're wonderful musical meditations. But I bring up J.S. Bach not only because Bach wrote lots of music for the organ, but also because Bach was the greatest composer who wrote music for the organ. And why am I thinking about Bach anyway? Well, because today, the 31st of March, is Bach's birthday. Except some people say his birthday is the 21st of March. So which one is correct? How can he have two birthdays? Well, it all has to do with the difference between the Julian and Gregorian calendars. The Julian calendar was established by Julius Caesar in about 45 of the Common Era, and it was the calendar that what we would call the West used up until about 1582, when Pope Gregory discovered that there was an error in the calendar that had to do with the leap year, and that 10 days actually had been added, and so then there was another month, and they revised the calendar, and that became the Gregorian calendar, the more accurate way of counting the days of the year. But this Gregorian calendar was slow to catch on, and in places like Eisenach, where Bach was born in 1685, it was still using the Julian calendar. And when Bach died in 1750, Eisenach was still using the Julian calendar. This all was adopted later in the 18th century by the whole of Europe. And so some people say that we should count his birthday as what it was in the Julian calendar, the 21st of March. But most of us now say that was just a tabulation error. So the 31st, well, it doesn't matter. Happy birthday, Bach. But thinking about that town of Eisenach, which was a remarkably provincial place, reminds me of Bach himself, who was basically a provincial character. He didn't stray really very far from Eisenach. His whole life and career was spent really within the radius of that city, and he didn't really aspire to great positions, although he certainly achieved a very prominent cantorship when he was appointed the cantor of the Thomaskirche in Leipzig, which a position he occupied for the last 27, I think, years of his life. He lived a very proscribed life. He was not a cosmopolitan figure. He wasn't writing for the great glitterati and the notable aristocrats of Europe like his exact contemporary Handel was, and we'll say something about Handel in April. He was a provincial person who lived and worked in the same area. And like I say, he wasn't working for fame or glory, except for the glory of God. You'll remember that at the bottom of every manuscript, not just of his church manuscripts, but every one, Bach would write SDG, Soli Deo Gloria, to God alone be the glory. Bach was writing for God's glory, not for his own, and this remarkable person lived this kind of very sheltered or very circumscribed life. He didn't travel far, like I said. He wasn't looking for that. He was happiest when he was writing music for the church, which means when he was writing music for God. And so I think the example of Bach's life, this extraordinary composer, for you and me, is that we too should be living lives in which we're seeking to give glory to the one who created this glorious world. Sometimes we're ambitious. We want to have a wide circle of influence. We want to do things that will be remembered, for a long time, that our achievements will go down in history, or our life at least will. But Bach's example means that true greatness comes when we simply seek to give voice to the greatness of the one who created us, and created us for joy, and for love, for praise, for fellowship, for making this world just a little bit more beautiful and resonant of divine harmony. So happy birthday, Bach. I hope you all have a wonderful day.